And you still manage.
Alright, this week we are doing, and I've already got the board loaded up, we're doing encounters. Not all of them are forced, but there are a lot on Tales Tavern. We want to kind of just like jump right into this. I went way over time last week, and I was not a big fan of that. A lot of trees. We'll get to that. So this is on Tales Tavern, obviously. The Forest Cliff Encounter by Psycho 5554. Created on November 1st, 2021. A small encounter map. See, that's what also I'm curious about. What do people consider small? Me? For me, this is not small. For other people, it might be small. A small encounter map with edges filled out via Tales Terrain by Kuzar. Map features 2 large cliffs on the sides and a few smaller cliffs to vary the terrain, as well as a small cave. The raised slab in the center. Map is primarily meant as an encounter map, but could be used as players' camp area as well. Alright, let's check it out. He has atmosphere. I've not messed with anything. So there's trees, there's birds. Now last week, none of those had the atmosphere settings because they were slabs. I'm still coughing. I'll eventually be healthy. He used the Forest Day in silence. Looks like actually he might actually kept the fog default. So, but yes, noon. Lots of trees. So one thing that I used to do that I don't anymore is I used to like leave this open, even though it is more assets and more tiles. I like just closing everything off. It just makes everything look neater. So even like just a simple rule set would fit back here. I don't know if there's supposed to be any water. Let me raise the water level up. I mean, you could throw water in here. You could definitely throw water in here. This little crevice that I saw over here is why I was curious. Okay. You could definitely, see, this is more of a swamp field than like a forest. But you could definitely turn the water up just a smidge and turn it into a very nice swamp. Alright, so I don't think it's meant to have that, so we'll turn that down. Let's see, I'm looking for any blocks.
That's gonna be hard AF to play on, though.
We'll get to that. Double A, how's it going, man? I'm just looking for any invisibility blocks right now. I want to test out the trees. There's the cave you mentioned. So if you start the players over here, so one thing I'm noticing with the ground as well, and this is something that I've started to do. I can't tell if these are all the same or not. That's the same. That's the same. That's the same. Yeah. Just take these. It takes a little bit of extra time. You just rotate them.
They are.
My game just freaked out. Yeah, just go ahead and just take these. And just randomly rotate them.
Hi at W1410.
And that already looks better. Even if some of them do line back up, it's fine.
Hi at Noonvale 12.
Alright, so the trees. When we play, I do not have a lot of trees on my map, especially where they might be traveling. There's no clear paths on here. You can start them in the middle, but I'm curious with the height of these trees. And I also don't use these trees a lot. Actually, I don't ever use these trees. I just don't like them in general. So we're going to do a little testing here. Yeah, he put the They put the trees up high enough where you don't get stuck on them. I mean, the only ones you walk on top of are the ones that are supposed to be bushes. So I guess if you're going to have a lot of trees, have a lot of high trees. Is this supposed to be a cave entrance? Well, there's nothing there, so... I just randomly just found that. I hadn't seen that before. So it looks like either he copied and pasted things and just missed the gap there. These big maps, it's going to happen. Yeah, he... just having the tree super high works out well. I did struggle a little bit to load this in. There are a lot of assets. If he says this is small, I'm scared to see what he thinks is big. Nice scenery. I like a lot of this stuff. Some things are just floating. Now this is why I hate these plants. Not that necessarily that it's floating, but it has these peg things here. And even then, you have to slide. You have to make sure that's hidden, or it looks like a Lego. Here's this cave. Not bad. Use some of the new cave pieces. There's the new spider web. Plenty of room in here. I mean, I'm moving around with the camera, so. Not a bad little cave. People aren't seeing that unless they're literally playing at this height. Which, from this height, it looks really good. I can nitpick so far at this juncture. It's nitpicking, like the ground, but the ground here, you can't tell that because it's so much ground clutter, which is good. It doesn't look repetitive at all. But that any big open areas, you have to make sure you rotate those if you can. Now, some of them you can't, and that's just because of how the pieces are. You just have to figure out a different way to break it up. This is going to be an easy review for this big of a board. Yeah, just kind of nitpick like this right here. And from what he said, I think he did a lot of copying and pasting from one of the terrain assets, which is fine. And if you do stuff like that, I use the Force Generator 1.8 from the D20 Army Knife website. It's on GitHub. But yeah, that I use that, but you have to make sure that it's fixed. I would never do a large territory or area that is copy and paste, because there's too much that could be wrong with it. All right, let's go over to this cave. Not a cave, just where nothing's clipped in to close that up. So this wall here, I just completely missed all of this. I mean, at this point, you might as well just turn this into a huge cave system and let the players run around in here also. Yeah, I mean, you have multiple entrances. There's plenty of room down here. We're looking at, what, 35, 40 feet? Yeah, might as well just turn this space into another cave system. This goes under. I'll just see if there's any other clipping areas messed up. I like the ridge, either for good or bad. For, you know, having your teams up there or the enemies up there. Take a look at the trees. The trees will look pretty good at not being the same for them literally being the exact same piece. This ridge is nice. I like this. I like how there are ways to get up there on the backside. Plenty of things you could do here. he did leave enough open space here as this being the main area in the center. But if you're doing something like, if this is your main area, there's no reason to have any of this other stuff. You can move the minis around and stuff, so, but if your focus is this main area, everything else is pointless. Floating tree. Yeah, there's some, like, cleanup work on something like this. So, I'd mess with this just for a few minutes when we first started. I kind of like having the water up a little bit. It gives it a very swampy feeling in that main area. And around. So, it's not bad. I like that. So, I'm going to jack up the... So this turns this into an island. Turns this into a pretty big island. But this is high enough up here where it's not going to matter. So you can actually turn the water up on this one and turn this into a river. A swampy Louisiana river. Yeah, it's got more of a swamp feeling than a forest feeling, but overall it's good. I like it. This was the Forest Cliff Encounter by Psycho5554. I did increase the likes for this one up to 10. So anything with 10 or less likes, I just snagged. So he can have like number 8. All right, the next one. We move right along. Nope, go back. There we go. Is going to be the just... Forest Encounter by Man in a Can. This is from November 8th, 2021. No atmosphere on this one. Still has the default fog. What's funny is in the pictures he doesn't. We have a little pond. We have these trees again. We have the mixed in with my favorite trees. We have some floating trees. It's going to happen when you do a lot of trees. My anime con resort, I had trees floating everywhere, and it was a nightmare to fix. So just take your time. Do it right. Like these leaves here, doesn't really make any sense. But it's the only leaf things we have right now. Random set of stone, rocks, and crystals people can use. A random dwarf warrior out here. Okay. I've said this before, and I say it when I do my build streams. Use a mini for scale if you're curious to how it goes. Ooh, also, because I'm now starting to notice this. These trees do not like the X snap feature. That's another reason I don't do these trees. Like they have to be facing the exact same way for them to snap correctly. And that's because like just how the trunks are. They are all over the place. I had that problem with those trees on my Grung Tavern. I would even we don't have tops other than these. So I didn't use them a lot. But the pine trees, these snap perfect because they are perfectly aligned. Unlike these that have, some curvature to them. That one snaps fine. That one's not it. Oh, maybe I was thinking of the mango ones. Yeah, I know the mango trees have that problem too. These are like super bent and weird looking. No, these snapped okay, so they just missed it. And not great. It snaps kind of above it. So nice big open areas to have combat in. Not too many trees. I probably wouldn't be putting any more in here. Lots of random mushrooms laying around. Just adds a little bit. I'd probably clump them together a little bit more.
So picky.
Who, me? I'm not picky. Throw in some more ferns. This right here. How far is the water's not up very high, is it? Okay, so for water features, and someone in another stream was asking about this. Don't do this.
Pick.
Don't do this for water. Unless you want it super shallow, don't do this. Take this board, raise it up 10 foot, then do the water. Because then you can do it different depths. If this is what they're going for, works perfect. If they're going for supposed to be something deeper, or if you want something deeper, use these, build up the walls around the edge, and lift the board up. It's the best way to do water features. Yeah, nice and simple. There's a random boar out there. Ooh, he's hidden, actually. Reveal the boar. Maybe they'll go hunt down that dwarf. Something. What was out here? Oh.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Wow. Okay, so they put atmosphere blocks out here. So they did like nighttime. So nighttime. Chat, how dark does my screen look right now? Is this gonna be fun to watch or fun to play on? So this is what I do, and I default this all the time. Max exposure. Make it midnight. Midnight full moon max exposure gives you. Did he do? Oh, the vertical fogs off. This water just looks black, and I don't know why.
My chair about to be beautiful.
Nice. How is it because the water's just so shallow? I'm very curious at how he got the water to be black. Because I like this a lot. I want to figure out how he did it so I could use it. Let's see here. Let's just change the time of day.
Then black and white too.
Oh, the dark. They use the day cycle as darkness. That's how they got it black. Oh, man. That I like that a lot.
Probably, possibly.
Yeah, she needs subs for her new stuff. He's got his light on. Okay. So for Tales Tavern description, people put it out. Tell
subs.
people. Tell people that it's out here. Because if not, they don't know. All right. Moving on to the next one, we have the Huntsman's Camp Encounter by Mr. Sisk. This was done last summer. We actually use this in my campaign. We just kind of use this side here. I didn't realize that until I put it up when I loaded the board up. A forest camp for 3 people close to a stream where the campers, hunters have been fishing. Small path leads one across a fallen log over the stream. All is peaceful. Well, actually there are 3 monster encounters set up on this board. Giant spiders in the northwest corner. Oh, I have my compass turned off because I was doing stuff on another build. There should be giant spiders over here. They got them hidden. Pack of wolves in the southwest corner. And they're hidden, so DMs can just jump in and use them. There's the wolves. And as you just cross the stream, a shambling mound lurks in a bunch of bushes. All the critters are hidden and viewable on the GM tab, except the shambling mound, which is the only hidden by the bushes. So that's right here. Actually, you did a very good job of hiding the shambler in here. All right, let's take a look at it. Evening default setting. Make sure we don't have any of the focus issues. Like I said, I just had my players use this when we use this board. This is a nice touch. I like the log crossing. I mean, yeah, the creek's only 5 feet, but it's still a nice little touch. And they did rocks at the bottom, super shallow. This is meant to be like this. Like he spent the time to put the fish in here, and there's a little cave back here that they did that you can use. Plenty of areas. Nice clipping with the rocks. Now, a board like this with the water level up, I wouldn't worry about that edging. Floating tree, which you're going to get that in this game with trying to clip them into making a big, huge tree. It's just one of those things that you can't get around. Let's take a look at the campsite now. Got some nice fish. I like that it's like sitting on this stone here. He added in, it looks like some extra. He added in the regular campground, but then they also clipped in like the bonfire one. Just to make it look a little bit bigger. Plenty of wood pieces laying around. Backpacks. Nice, small elevation changes. This is good for steps. Just kind of, it gives a hill look. I know that they're working on a thing where you can sculpt the landscape. But this is how we have to do things for now. Looks good. I like it. Not too many trees, but enough. Add some nice height to this creek area. Just another small little hill. Nothing fancy, but it works. This bugs me, like this gapping here. I had to do a whole bunch of fixing on one of my other boards because of that. Like, it's just a pet peeve of mine. I like the kind of like broken path that they did with all this clipping. And it's not screwing up the cameras, so it looks good. Like, if I get out of build mode, this looks good. I like the music. I like the frogs and stuff chirping. The path really doesn't lead anywheres. I think I threw my players like right here. I think the only thing I'd like to see on this is this be more finished out this way. I'm like, you could have a road like go through here, but like it just kind of like stops right here. So overall, very good board. I really appreciate the telling me where the hidden things were. That's huge. Even as they put it in like a little story, it still tells the DM or whoever's managing the board where everything is. So yeah, this is what I would call like a normal encounter size board. Even maybe a little on the big side. But you could use pieces of it. Let me measure this. So 200 by... Alright, it's about the same. So, I'd probably go a little bit smaller, but nice to be able to use multiple different areas for one thing. Like I said, we use this for my game, and we just used mostly this area right here. I kind of changed it to fit the campaign a little bit, and that's what I like about some of these encounter boards. They're super basic and generic, so that a DM can just come in and throw in what they need, and everything's hidden. Like, we don't. If I didn't need spiders, just they're fine there. You don't have to mess with them. So overall, very good board. Mr. Sisk, we'll go ahead and like that one as well. Man, we are just flying right along here today, aren't we? There's a lot less to pick apart than I normally would have to. was looking for. No, not. I accidentally closed out one of the things. So. I have all their Tales Tavern
Are
pages.
the wheels supposed to snap in or just sit there?
You should push them in and they'll lock in. You might have to push pretty hard. Flip it upside down and use the floor as like support to push it down. Alright, so I think the last two are slabs, so we're gonna go over to the slab board. I'm not even asking chat if I should like these. I've liked every single one so far. I can nitpick, but I've liked every one so far. Alright, so this is just the slab. This is by Haxor. H, the @ symbol X0R. Do you need a man to do it, baby? I mean, I can't do it because I have fractured ribs right now, but I'm sure we can find you a different man.
I know.
A goblin ambush encounter for the party while they are traveling. Also includes a goblin lair beneath the hillside with loot. Alright, super small. This is very...
men are all virtual.
This would be a very good, either slap it on some other slabs to make it a little bit bigger, or just a random, the players enter here and you've theater of the mind the rest of the story to get them here. Trees could be rotated to not be the same. You can dress up the pumpkins a little bit. I'd also probably go ahead and just make this an even board all the way around. I like the smashed, like, debris and stuff. That was one of my favorite things that they added.
Oh, I got it.
Nice. Here's their cave. The ceiling is very small. So this is supposed to be for a goblin lair. Oh, man. If you want your players to go in here, make this bigger. So dropping the levels, you can play in here if you do that. This is one of those things where I would raise this up 10 feet, drop this down, redo this so it's like dirt and stuff. Grass isn't going to grow in here. Unless it's magical grass, it's not growing in here. I just kind of have this kind of go down into a layer. So this is from April of 2020. So this is like, yeah, this is the pre-release version.
Cat in the chair box.
Nice. So, asset-wise, I can't make an argument because this is pre-release, so I don't know how many assets were even available then. But you could, like, this dirt here, I don't know why this dirt's here. You could very easily just go like this. Oops, too far. And the dirt is not liking me today. Huh, that's weird. It's like clipping. I wonder if it's because of the version they were using. Huh. It is. Okay, so at the time, I didn't know this. At the time of them making this piece now is a prop. Let me load up mine. That is good to know. So if they do future version updates, if I would need to change that or not. So mine go like this. So what I was trying to do with these pieces, and this is why I'm trying not to hate on those older ones, but we're going to just kind of some tips while we're at it. This is good. But at the time, this exact same piece was considered a build piece, so it could only snap to the squares. If there were dirt tiles 2.5 years ago, just use dirt tiles. If you wanted to update this, it would probably be a lot better if he went back and did it now. And that's just because of what we could do, what we can do compared to. So if I copy it, like these barrels here, yeah, see, that's why these barrels don't look good. They can only sit in the center. You can't move them around. That's weird that the coding is like that. So so this is the beta dragon version. I'm not even sure what version we have. We have the early access Chimera version, I believe. So knowing that if they go to a different version of the game, you have to go back and redo your boards. Because the coding stays the same as when you uploaded it. Not like this right here. You can't clip this. That's the same. All these are, at this time, man, it looks like all these are build pieces. I would not have bought this game in this state. Yeah, at the time of the release of this, these are all build pieces. They all have to sit in the center of
Yay, Allen Ranch.
grids. Hooray for Alan. So can these even rotate? Okay, they can rotate. We're good on that. They have to sit in the center because of the time, but at least rotate them. Nice little area out here to fight on. So what I'm trying to do with my boards currently is the encounter boards are just big enough that rangers have to move at least like 10 feet to shoot their bow. To not have to stay within their like 120 feet or something. So yeah, nice little area up here. I like the trees. I'm a sucker for these pine trees now that I'm good with them. I like some of the dead trees up here too, like up on the rocks. A nice little touch. I like the overall setting of it. It's just one of those things that go back and update it, and it'll be 1,000 times better. Yeah, I would just I think the big thing on this one is I would just lower this down into the ground. Raise the whole board up, lower this down. Even if you have like a small opening, because it's a goblin layer, have it a little bit deeper for the players to be able to do stuff without having to finagle with the cameras too much. So overall, it's a good board. I like it, so we are going to like it as well. We're not going to hate on it too much because of it's a whole different version than everybody else. Can you even clip these rocks? Nah, you cannot clip rocks with this in this version. Maybe you can. Yeah, I think you can. Yeah. Okay, so the rocks you can clip it this time. With the rocks, just take these. Ooh, you can't. Oh, these don't clip. Just kidding. I would take other rocks and stuff and just clip them in. Add some foliage. It'll break up that repetitiveness of these rocks. And we still have that problem today with the rocks all looking the same. So, I went ahead and liked it. It was still a good board. It's by Haxor. Then the last encounter. I'm trying to keep these to 45 minutes to an hour. And that's because when we restart the Dodo campaign on Thursday evenings, I want to be wrapping up like right about now so I can jump into that campaign. Tonight we'll probably run a little bit late. I'll probably work on the street one some, and if Noon decides to stream, we'll rate her. If not, I'll probably be done for the night. All right, so last one. Encounter Slab, Church of the Forgotten. I don't know if this is from anything. This is from the September of last year, so I can be a bit meaner. This is by Bunk the Bug. A great slab for a quick encounter in the woods. Not a lot of woods. Add your own characters, create your own reason for the existence of this mysterious church. We can do that real quick. Bell tower design. Basement can be expanded as needed. Looks best at night. Enjoy. If it looks best at night, throw this bad boy on a board and give us the atmosphere settings for it. So if you're building your stuff for a specific time of day, help out the DMs with that. Alright, so let's go around here. So it said looks best at night, so we're going to look at it at night for now. I like the raised board here. But just go ahead and do this. Have it line up and be flush. It'll look better overall. Even if they have like the height clipping there. This looks way better than this. Unless there's something that I'm missing. More growth pieces, dead trees. If you say it's a quick encounter in the woods, make this a little bit bigger and throw some woods around it. So it is force generator. If you don't know it, I'm gonna post it in chat. I use this all the time. Randomly generate force, copy to clipboard, and you can change the assets on them. I'm just doing this for time purposes. Do that. Just hit generate random forest every time you want to do a new set, and it generates you a new random forest. And just make this a little bit bigger. That's it. This will be great. Just I would just go like a 5x5, so at least the 2x2s, 5 2x2s around. So 50 feet. I would add another 50 feet around the 3 sides here. The rubble's a nice touch. I like that. I like the stairs. I don't use these enough. I probably should start. I don't do too many like slopes like this. And they're big pieces. They're 10s. So the stairs are 5, but the stairs are also steep. Let's get out of build mode so I don't get that clipping. Statue. I use these statues for the most part, unless I need the players to read something. I'll clip these into the ground. So the players aren't like, hey, there's a plaque. What's it say? I don't know. The guy's name was Bob. So, yeah. Because that's just how my players are. So, I like the big tree going up the side here. It's a nice touch. This is what I was talking about with the the trees not snapping well. Well, let's get out of night mode for now, because I want to show that off. That's how they clip together. These are the trees that were a pain to work with on my swamp map. Like the dead trees, I don't use this enough. Nice little assets out here. Probably did this because of how the walls are with Morgoth. Got some trees up top. I don't know what's going on here. There's dirt up here as well. I like the vines up the back. There's a gate entrance back here. Some firewood, some hay. Why is there hay? We don't know yet. We haven't been inside. So let's go inside here. We're going to just go first floor. Alright, so he did a 2-high wall. Black Magic Wolf does this a lot. Like, this is her thing. Like, all her buildings have this kind of wall set. Are these floating? I don't know if those are supposed to be floating, but they're floating. What did he say about this board? Bell tower design. I want to make a bell tower now. So, it says create your own reason for the existence of this church. But you have to help out the DMs. You have to help out the players with this types of builds. have a story for yourself. If not, just leave it completely empty. Throw up throw up the curtains at the windows. That's a set piece. If you're wanting for the players to, like, I don't know the purpose of this. This stuff up here on the roof, that's a nice decorative touch up here. Like, it looks like rubble and stuff up here. I don't know why the boxes are up here, but... So, I would have to go through and start deleting things. When I make a board, and this goes all the way back to the Kindon, which is where I kind of started doing this with the Kindon board. Everything has a story. It might not be the story that they use, but it's a story that I come up with, that I build to, and then when I put it in Tales Tavern, it's in the description. Like, that story is generically in the description. Nice stairs going up to this here. Why? Don't know. But it's here. You can use it. It goes back to needing to delete it. Like, I like the overall structure of it. Probably could use some work in these corners here, but that's just how the game is right now. With spacing and walls. I kind of want to build this now. Like a small church. Like a rural church with a tower. So yeah, just delete this. There's no reason. I like the little pew setting. There was this back room over here, which leads to the basement from the outside that you gave your players no room for. So this goes back to adding this board in here. It's not going to be perfect because I'm just winging this. Let the players explore this. If you're going to have this back here, have it so the players can have some room to get back here. All right, let's look at this basement. Okay, so let's raise this up a bit. See, this is basement can be expanded as needed. Okay, so right now it's just a locked storage area. Sure, that'll work. I don't know whether there's a lantern floating. Let's see. Yeah, it's just a floating lantern. So this is like a 2-foot gap, but that's not OSHA approved. They are not going to be happy with this stuff here. If you ever have this with stairs, I've ran into this before, where I will just decorate it with something. Don't put anything useful there. Now we have a bell tower. Other than climbing the vines, there's no way of getting up here. How did he do the bells? He did the bells with the marble pieces. I like how he did the bells. The bells are really good. Oh, man. I'm dying here. I didn't stream at all this afternoon, and my chest is still hurting from all the coughing yesterday. Let me try to get this roof off as best I can. Yes, I really like these. How he did this would take forever to manually do, because it is just like barely turning it. Yeah, I like the bells. The problem is, how do they ring? How does anybody get up here to do anything? I've seen climbing up the vines. There's no inside stairs that I saw. So for as small as this is, it is the front and the main hall area. Like, other than that, there's nothing else here that's worth using. I would probably knock out this wall, have the stairs go down here, turn this into a storage area. I like that idea. Even if you did do the storage on the bottom, make it accessible from the inside. Anybody at a church like this is not going to walk all the way around to go inside. Knock out this wall, put a door here, redo these steps, do like a spiral staircase down, and that should work out really good. Then I think my only other big complaint is there's no way to get up to the bell towers, which are fantastic. They are some awesome looking bells. I would never have thought about doing that, and that's why I like doing this here. Doing this vacuuming. Yeah, like, I'm going to just steal these bells. F this. I ain't going to make these. I'm going to steal them. Because these bells are really good, so let's steal them. Well, whoops, should just steal this entire tower, actually. It'd probably be easier to do. Yoink. I'm going to drop down to here-ish. Out there. Copy this. Board. Oh, it's a whole nother campaign. I wonder if we can switch campaigns and drop it on some random board. Actually, I'll throw it in Notepad real quick. Notepad. Code and Notepad. Man. Leave as. We have, what do we have? Yeah, church bells, those are awesome. The decorations outside look good. I mean, it's a church. Make this a little bit bigger and put a tiny little graveyard here. You could do like a little 4-person gravestone. Because it is small. Like, I get that. So it's going to be one of those like small rural churches. Yeah, there's just some nitpicking thing where I'd have some complaints about. But, I mean, I still like it enough that I will click that like button for him. So, yeah, that is this week's encounters. The priority for me picking them were just needing to be encounter slabs with the name encounter on them and have less than 10 likes. I don't know what I'm doing next week. We'll figure it out. I like the 10 likes. Trying to keep stuff under there and just trying to get some more people to see them. Because if they have, 30 or 40 likes, I don't care about those. I want to see what the average person is building because that's what I want to learn from.